It's officially November, which means marching season is coming to a close. So, what is a drum major to do? During the winter season, that is when we have the Winter Guard competitions and the Winter Drumline competitions. As a drum major, you want to be involved in the competition, but maybe you, like me, are not really that coordinated for Winter Guard. Maybe you don't have the chops or the skill to play any type of percussion instrument. But fear not. In the shadow of the Winter Guard and the Winter Percussion competition, there is L Pattern. Now you may be thinking, what is L Pattern? L Pattern is a competition that is held primarily for the drum major, and this is usually held in various winter competitions all over California. Now if you are a drum major and you are with a high school marching band or a middle school marching band in the state of California, chances are you might be associated with one of two band associations, being the Northern California Band Association or the Southern California School Band and Orchestra Association. These two main organizations are the governing bodies for any competition band-wise in the state of California. In addition, there's also WDMA, the World Drum Majors Association, which also holds various competitions in Southern California as well. I would like to also reiterate that it's very important for you to consult with each individual drum major association or governing body if you want to be able to compete in these competitions. However, with the exception of the World Drum Majors Association, for NCBA and SCSBOA, you're kind of relegated to where you compete. So if you're from the Southern California, you will be competing with the Southern California School Band and Orchestra Association drum major competitions. If you're from the Northern California region, you will be competing with the Northern California Band Association competitions. Unfortunately, you can't switch. In addition, in order to compete in these competitions, you have to, 1, be in the grades of 12 or below. So basically from grades 7 to 12. So that, which means junior high to high school. 2, you have to be a member of a band program. Well, you don't really have to be a member of a band program, but unfortunately, in order to compete in the NCBA division, you have to have a band director or be affiliated with a band director that is a member of NCBA. That kind of basically means you have to be a member of the band program. But I'm pretty sure if you're in high school and you talk to the band director there, you can probably get them to, I don't know, sponsor you to be a competitor for the high school. I've seen it done before. So if you meet those criteria, you can probably compete in any of the 2 Band Association Winter Guard drum major competitions. Now, speaking from my personal experience, I used to compete in the NCBA drum major competitions, and I will pretty much tell my personal experience and also give you guys the rundown on the judging criteria of what they're looking for. Keep in mind, the judging criteria from when I competed is different from the current standard today. And if you want to compete in the drum major competitions, I suggest that you go and read the rule books for each individual band associations, which I will link in the description below. So when I competed in the drum major competitions as a freshman in high school, they only had 3 divisions. You had your 2 divisions. You had your mace drum major, and then you had your military baton drum major. In addition, you also had 3 subcategories per each division. So for military baton and for mace drum major, you could compete in the apprentice category, the major category, and the master category. Now, there were good things and bad things regarding that. For the apprentice category, that was mostly reserved for people that had never marched in, or that was mostly for drum majors who had never competed before. So if you have probably less than 3 months experience and never competed in parade or ELP in the past, you could compete as an apprentice. Then you had your major category. This was for drum majors who probably competed in maybe one L pattern in the past, or placed in one L pattern, and also competed in probably one parade competition in the past. This was more for your experience, not really experienced drum majors, but these were drum majors that have been in competition in the past. Then you had your masters category. These were more your upperclassmen, maybe seniors in high school, maybe some freshman drum majors who have had drum major experience from when they were in middle school, but these were more like your top of the line advanced drum majors. There was also field conducting drum majors, but that's gonna have to be a video for another time. Now, there was good things and bad things with the categories for drum majors, because back in the day, it was mostly on the honor system. So if you had never, let's say that you technically never competed before, but you knew how to spin a mace, you could pretty much place in the apprentice category, which there's nothing wrong with that because you've never competed before. So that was okay for you. That was considered okay. So if you went in as an apprentice and kicked butt, you rightfully deserved it. However, you also had the option, I think you probably have the option today to do it in the current categories, but you had the option to compete in apprentice, major, and master. So if you wanted to compete in all three categories, you could, and also triple your chances of possibly winning or placing, which has a good thing and a bad thing. For example, if you are in middle school and you competed in apprentice, major, and master, and let's say that you placed in major, you could not move backwards if you got into high school. So if you were in middle school and you placed in the master category, the second you go to high school, sorry, you gotta stay in the masters category. And sometimes the judges do know who competed in apprentice, major, and master. And also the bad thing also is if you competed in L pattern and you did both military and baton, or sorry, you did military and mace, and you competed in all three categories for military and mace, keep in mind that you were competing 6 times in that one day. So you had to compete in major and apprentice, major, and master categories for your military baton, and then you had to go compete in apprentice, major, and master for your mace. So it was a long day for you. And I've done it before, and I don't know, I don't want to say I don't recommend it because I liked doing it, but it was a really tough day for me. I had like pretty much no downtime. So in this video today, we're gonna talk about the judging criteria of what the judges will be looking for in the competition. We'll probably have a more in-depth video for L pattern and how to compete in L pattern, but I'm gonna go over what the judges will be looking for when you compete in L pattern. Like I said, keep in mind, these rules and the criteria that I'm going to be explaining in this video today are from the Northern California Band Association. If you are from Southern California, please consult the Southern California School Band and Orchestra Association rulebook to be able to understand the judging criteria for your respective association. And also, if you compete in the World Drum Majors Association, please consult their rulebook if you want to compete in their L pattern. Now, as I mentioned, my experience with the NCBA apprentice, major, and master category, they kind of have that categories today, but they have it differently. And also, one of the bad things about competing in the apprentice, major, and master category is if you are a it also didn't distinguish between middle school and high school. So if you are a middle school drum major, you would be competing against high school competitors. Nowadays, they changed the rule book, they changed the classification. So as a middle schooler, you will be competing against other middle schoolers. As high schoolers, you will be competing against other high schoolers. So it kind of levels the playing field and gives middle schoolers a chance to actually be in more evenly based competition. This judging sheet is actually from the Northern California Band Association, and it actually gives a rundown of what the judges will be looking for. So first of all, like I said, you are placed in either one of two categories. They will be judging you on either mace or military baton. And then you have your junior high school division, and then you have your high school novice, your high school scholastic, and your high school open. High school, it's pretty much the same thing as apprentice, major, and master. Just keep that in mind. Now, the beginning of the sheet talks about inspection. This is where the judge will inspect your uniform. Most likely the judge will have a digital recorder with them. They'll be talking into their digital recorder, giving comments. They will talk at you. They will not talk to you. So the judge typically will not have a conversation with you. They'll probably give you they'll probably introduce themselves as a judge and say that they're going to start off with a inspection, and then they'll give you further instructions from there. So with the inspection, typically you will be standing at attention, and the judge will be doing the walk around. They'll be looking for loose thread on your uniform, making sure all the buttons are facing the exact same direction. Your mace and equipment is well polished. You are pretty much in inspection order, making sure that your uniform is in the best condition as it can. Because if they find any like lint on your uniform, dirt on your shoes, that's a demerit. The highest score you can get in inspection is a 5. And each individual like tick, every single like, if they find any demerits, that's a point, that's a minus 0.1 point. Now in the next categories, we actually have a series of various categories. You have your overall content. Your overall content is actually graded on your creativity, your difficulty and complexity, your exposure to error, and your musical integration. Basically, it means like, are you being creative? Are you doing stuff that, you know, the judge has never seen before? Incorporating a lot of free hands, incorporating a lot of basically illusions and tosses and everything. Degree of difficulty and complexity. Is your routine simple, or is it something that, you know, you essentially want to wow the judge? You want to show them that you can actually maneuver this mace doing really intricate moves, but do it cleanly as well. You also have exposure to error. So are you taking risks? Some of the most highest exposure to error moves are essentially tosses. And then musical integration. It doesn't just mean, you know, synchronized to the music. It means like, are you doing basically movements that coincide with the music? So if you have a very impactful part in your music, is your mace moves or your baton moves reflecting that impact? The max score you can get in the content portion is a 35. You are graded on 1 through 4. 1 being absolute best, so you can score between 32 to 35. You get 2, you can get a 2, which is between a 28 and a 31. And then your 3, which is 24 through 27, and then a 4, which is 20 through 23. Then you have your execution. Execution pretty much covers precision, consistency, control, beating of time, and clarity of movement. So, for example, with precision, you want to make sure that is your beating of time clean and crisp? Are your signals clean and crisp? Are they clear to the judge? Are they clear to the imaginary band behind you? And also, you also have your salute sequence. So they will also be judging you on an ideal salute, which is the perfect 6 before the line and 6 after the line. And for execution, you can get a max total of 35 points. Finally, you have your presentation. This is pretty much your overall showmanship. Your bearing, your confidence, your marching fundamentals. Are you going in there and exuberating confidence? Is your head up? Is your back straight? Is your chest out? Is your chin up? Are you basically showing the judge that you are there to mean business? You are there to compete, or are you kind of like out there just going through the movements? And in this category, you are judged on your confidence, your poise, your leadership, your posture, stride, and your presence. So, like I said, overall confidence, they are judging you on that. So if you go out there looking very timid and looking very unsure, and maybe you are a beginner, you are shy, that's understandable, the judge will see that and they will judge you on that. And in that category, you can get a maximum of 25 points. Now altogether, all the points total equals 100 points. Now you also have penalties as well. Now in the judge's sheet, they give you a penalty for a slip. A slip, you will get, a slip is a -1. A slip is essentially when you're spinning the mace and you lose control of the mace, but it doesn't make contact with the ground. Then you have a drop. A drop is self-explanatory. If you're spinning the mace and it drops on the ground, that is considered a -3 point penalty. Then you have an over 30-second mark. So I didn't really go over in the competition or in the rulebook, but you actually have a time limit. I think you have, according to the NCBA rulebook, you have a maximum of 4 minutes to compete. So from the time you actually step out in competition, or the time you call your band to attention, to the time you dismiss your band, you are timed, and you cannot exceed 4 minutes. Every 30 seconds after that 4 minutes, you are actually docked a point. You will actually be docked -1 point for every 30 seconds you go over time. And then you have being out of step. Being out of step is actually a really big penalty of -5 points, because the reason why out of step is actually worth more points than your than drops and spins, than drops and slips, is because being in step is pretty much your marching fundamentals. If you show the judge that you can't stay in step, that pretty much shows to him, you know, that kind of docks your leadership, docks from your leadership score, and shows that you can't maintain basic marching fundamentals. So the big thing is to remain in step. And then finally, you have your salute. If you do not salute at all, that is an automatic disqualification. So just remember, salute. Even if you have to salute one before the line, just salute. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys found this video somewhat informational. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about this video. As I mentioned in my Facebook, I'm actually changing my upload schedule to every Wednesday to give myself a break on the weekends. If you guys want to go ahead and click that notification bell so you guys know when I upload a video, most likely it'll be Wednesdays. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought about this video. If you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, I am at ArtyMacDM. You can actually get in touch with me through those social platforms. And as always, guys, keep marching, keep flourishing. I'll catch you guys later.